This is the atomic bomb. Codenamed Trinity, it was the first nuclear weapon ever used and tested in the world. Its creation and blueprint shaped the foundation for new forms of weaponry and has not only helped form the world they lived in, but the one we know today. And it all started from one brilliant mind. My name is Amir Hickman, and welcome to Frontiers in History. J. Robert Oppenheimer was born on April 22nd, 1904, in New York. As a kid, he was very focused on his academics, and when he got into Harvard in 1922 to study physics, he became heavily invested in studying and learning. Oppenheimer was able to get his PhD in only 2 years, while the average is 4 to 5. He worked in Europe after graduating, studying theoretical physics, and he became so well known for his studies that he began to teach physics in the University of California. However, throughout all his discoveries and achievements in life at this point, Oppenheimer will soon make a discovery that will change his life forever.
Poland, September 1939. The German foe begins its ruthless march of conquest and sets the stage for World War II. Poland's 34 million inhabitants, crushed, scattered, and enslaved. Tens of thousands of square miles of territory shrink before the movement of lightning-armored columns. Poland and the world learn the meaning of a grim new word, blitzkrieg.
On September 1st, 1939, Poland is invaded by Nazi Germany. Great Britain and France retaliate, and the Soviet Union invade from the east, causing yet another world war. This would become one of the deadliest battles in human history. With the discovery of fission cores and nuclear power within the last few decades, word spread among scientists like Albert Einstein that the enemy, Nazi Germany, were en route to figuring out how to make a nuclear bomb. Fearful, Albert Einstein suggested that the US should do the same to beat them to it. This led to the United States government funding the Manhattan Project, a super secret, high security plan to fund and develop a nuclear weapon before any other foreign power could. They set up several secret bases within the US, with Oppenheimer being the director of the operation. His job was to find a way to separate uranium 235 from its original form, which is an extremely unstable element, to see how much it would take to make a bomb of that caliber, and where to test it. In 1943, Oppenheimer would choose the Los Alamos training facility in New Mexico, and on July 16, 1945, the first atomic bomb was made. Trinity, the first nuclear bomb, was so strong, so powerful, that when it was detonated, eyewitnesses from hundreds of miles away described it as a light brighter than 1,000 suns. This invention marked the beginning of a time known as the Atomic Age and would change the world forever. On August 6, 1945, a nuclear bomb named Little Boy was dropped in the Japanese city of Hiroshima, and it quickly turned the tides of the war. Being the first nuclear weapon used in warfare, it showed not only the nation, but the entire world the true strength and power of the atomic bomb. The damages to the city and the people there were irreparable, and it would take a long time for the city to return to its former glory. However, within the same week, on August 9, 1945, an even stronger bomb, codenamed Fat Man, was dropped on the city of Nagasaki, Japan. The two bombs were so strong that the shadows of objects and humans that were vaporized in the bomb were still left there, causing an impact. The detriment from the bombs, as well as other losses, caused Emperor Hirohito to announce a surrender on August 15, 1945. It was officially signed on September 2nd, marking the end of the war completely.
終了なる汝臣民に次ぐ秦は帝国政府をして米英四蘇四国に対しその共同宣言を受諾する旨通告せしめたりそもそも帝国市民の公寧を図り万邦共栄の楽しみを共にするは構想の違反にして陳の権限をかざる。
Thanks to Oppenheimer and his thousands of scientists working on the Manhattan Project, the atomic bomb has broken the boundaries of weaponry and destruction. Despite being developed and used 77 years ago, the bombs have not only affected those who lived before us, but it also affects us today in the generation moving forward. It has played a major role in war, economic speeches, social life, and politics. The Cold War and the Cuban Missile Crisis were two major events caused by the global powers' fear over the destructive weapon and their rivalries. Throughout these periods of time, the U.S. gained numerous organizations, laws, and systems put in place to negotiate the usage and threat of nuclear warfare under President Kennedy and through others, such as the International Atomic Energy Agency, the Treaty on the Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons, and the Anti-Ballistic Missile Treaty between the U.S. and Soviet Russia, and even DEFCON, a military system used to measure the precautions and preparation of nuclear warfare. Oppenheimer would resign from his post during the same year of the attacks on Japan, where he would live his life until he passed away from throat cancer in 1967. Oppenheimer and his colleagues created the ultimate form of war and peace, for it is without one that we may not have the other. Despite the brutal moments of when the bombs went off, to the horrific aftermath of what was left, Little Boy and Fat Man forced the relentless Japan to surrender, saving thousands of people. For good or bad, the nuclear frontier laid the groundwork for generations upon generations, and it's all thanks to J. Robert Oppenheimer. Hopefully, we will never have to push the red button ever again.
He knew the world would not be the same. Few people laughed. Few people cried. Most people were silent. I remembered the line from the Hindu scripture, the Bhagavad Gita. Vishnu is trying to persuade the prince that he should do his duty, and to impress him takes on his multi-armed form and says,